What they do, what they do. Y'all know what they do. What they do, what they do, what they do, man. It's your boy OK Bad, aka K Trades. Y'all know what's popping. Y'all know what's popping, man. We had another day, another amazing trading day, right? We sat on our hands most of it, but we caught some good moves today. So of course I'm gonna go over the trades we took today, and then what we're still in, what we're still holding, what's the game plan, and we'll go from there. So first off, let's get straight into it, maybe. So the spy, right? Remember we talked about, well, if you're on live, you talked about this channel, right? So we're still in this selling channel, right? And you got to remember, in bull markets, you need pullbacks. You need entries. You can't just go vertical forever, right? So you need pullbacks. So this is what this possibly could be, right? So until we were to lose like a major level, like 724 roughly, if we lose this, okay, cool. We have to be a little bit more, a little watchful to the downside. But for the most part, we really can just keep up with the bullish mindset. Obviously, we played puts for 3 whole minutes for 105%. So 3 whole minutes. That's all you need, man. When you wait for the level, that's all you need. So that, and then I told everybody multiple times this morning, 733, watch 733, 733, 733, right? Same level from over here, 730, 734, 731. But we bounced from over here, right? This level had not been tested yet in normal hours. So I kept saying, hey, 733, 733. And then, ironically enough, 733 hits, and Trump says something about not attacking Iran. So, yeah, bro. It just goes, another reason goes to show that, like, the news is just a catalyst, bro. Like I said, unless it's something groundbreaking, immediate emergency, something, it's already priced in. Somebody always knows. Trump always knows. His people always know. Someone always knows. And then my boy was saying that there was a flow too, saying that basically that I guess the whales were loading up some calls. But what I'm saying, like, someone always knows something. So something's always priced in. So yeah, that was basically that. It was pretty much a smooth day, pretty chill, honestly. But market just closed. So now let's see what the game plan is. So first things first, we are still underneath that 5, and that is what's terrifying me, right? Because remember, anything here could just be setting these little lower highs, right? These little mini lower lows, right? These little mini lower lows. Obviously, like I said, it's not a bear trend, but it's just we're just a little bearish right now. We're having some profit taking, which makes sense. I told you guys, main profit to watch for was 745 to 750. Hey, that's my opinion. That, hey, probably top out there. That's just what I'm thinking. It's a psychological level. So of course you're gonna have some profit taking. Obviously, it's not the craziest thing in the world to see. 2% drop. Yeah, I mean, come on now, like, zoom out. Yeah, Bears already celebrating and stuff like that. You gotta relax. Right? Breathe. So so as far as now, if we hold this channel tomorrow, right? Let's say we stay roughly where we are, slightly gap up, right? We're gonna We're going to have to hold that 738. 30 minutes, hour, boom. We're gonna have to break this. It's probably gonna come down a little bit. The 5 will probably come down a little bit, but we're gonna have to break this. Retest, and then we can worry about Friday's high, right? Because that'll give us a bigger inverse possible, cup in hand if they want to play it that way. Remember, I always say you got to be prepared for either side. No matter what you're looking for, right? You got to have a bullish game plan. You got to have a bearish game plan, right? So the bullish game plan is, like I said, it's pretty simple. Anything over the 5, we hold that. Watch Friday's high, 734. My fault. 743. You hold 743. Then you have the gap, right? Over Friday's high, you have this gap from 747. So if we do go up, I plan on that gap filling, right? So that's gonna be my upside game plan. Like I said, simple enough. Even if we gap down, right? Even if we slightly gap down, like I said, if we recover 738 or today's close, right? We get back above that, watch that 5, and we go from there. So upside is simple. Previous day's close. My fault. Previous day's close, previous day's high, and Friday's high. Those will be your levels to watch for any kind of resistance, right? We have any trouble in here, right? You got to be a little careful. You never know, right? They might try to take us back down because remember, you got, like I said, you have a game plan for either side. We also, inside of the inverse head and shoulder, we possibly, remember, just the game plan, could have a right shoulder over here. So keep an eye on both sides. And yeah, hopefully it does gap up over the 5. It just makes it so much easier, then we just double bottom off of it and just, keep going up until we hit 1,000. I guess I don't know, man, how high is gonna push this, but yeah, there's upside, downside. Like I said, anything below the previous day's close obviously will be under the five. So anything under that, you gotta watch for same levels, 734, 733, right? And then the major one would just be that last Tuesday's low over to 731, right? We cracked that. Next level is 728, roughly. And then by then, I'm sure, like if we do go lower, man, I'm pretty sure the 20-day will move up by then. But I mean, like I said, that's if we want to test it now. We could push up, feel this gap, and then go test it. I don't know how it's gonna look, but yeah. And also to mention, we have this gap down here between 727 and 724. So yeah, downside gaps. Not really many levels, to be honest with you. And I was talking about it today. You just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. Be patient with it, and the trades will come to you, right? We can't force anything. We don't have the power to be like, we're not Trump. We can't just be like, markets go up, we're not gonna buy my rand, markets go up. Unfortunately, we can't do that. If I could, trust me, I too would be saying, I would be doing some insider trading. I'm not gonna lie, if I had that power. But no, I'm just messing. Don't need the SEC on my ass. But anyway, yeah. So 5, that'll come down a little bit probably. And yeah, man, like I said, we're in between these two zones. Healthy pullback, nothing crazy. We're 2% from 750. I mean, it was bound to happen, psychological level. But yeah, majorly, yeah, above that 7. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. I don't even need to say too much because I don't want to get y'all confused. That 5-day, got to hold for up. Any kind of rejection underneath today's close and that 5. Gotta look a little down, right? And then even if that pops, retest down, right? So just like I said, play level to level. Always look left. The game plan's always gonna be written in the stars. You know what I'm saying? But well, unless we're at all-time highs, then it do get a little difficult. Try to figure out levels, but we'll worry about that when we get there. But yeah, remain bullish until said otherwise. And I left this here so I could show. She finally wants to start playing with the scratch pad. That's so crazy. She has never done that. But yeah, and what I wanted to say is I left this here, this Head and Shoulders, to show because I was pointing it out in the live, and somebody asked me like, "Are you gonna take it?" And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna take it because that's not a good enough reason, right? Just because we saw Head and Shoulders, it didn't do what we were supposed to do, right? Remember, it's supposed to break down, retest, and continue. That's how you confirm whether the move is gonna, go in your direction or not. You can't take just the fact that it's a Head and Shoulder and be like, all right, well, it's got to go down, right? Remember, we needed that close. That's why we didn't play the zeros. But yeah, so just another reminder to remember that not all patterns and not all candle setups will play through. You know what I'm saying? It's a high probability setup. If everything was 100%, like I said earlier, I would package it up and I would sell it for a subscription service. But unfortunately, it's not just this is just gonna happen every time. I wish it would have been easy. Because we did catch a little piece of the right shoulder, but I didn't. We didn't want no falls or nothing like that. But yeah, keep it simple. Same thing I say every day. Keep it simple. That's it, man. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. See, like it looks like we did a lot, but look, if you turn these wicks off, we didn't really do nothing. We really didn't do nothing, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We really didn't do much today. So, yeah, anything that kind of comes in here, be careful. Watch today's low of this candle. My phone's at 10%. As always, every time I start recording, it's always about to die. Yeah, and then take Victor Wembanyama for over 11 rebounds and assists. That's the game plan. We're going to throw that in there too. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm about to watch this game and just kind of, try to enjoy the day. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See y'all.